Happy New Year, everybody. And as promised, new year, new campaign, because thankfully the last campaign ended on the last day of 2022, so we get a fresh start with a fresh campaign. So I hope you all had fun this weekend. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Made some New Year's resolutions that you can keep, like myself. I made one about 15, 16 years ago, said I would never make another one, and it's a very easy one to keep true to. So just an idea putting out there. Make a resolution, never make another one, and you ain't got to worry about breaking it. Alright, so this is a Union Summer 61 campaign playthrough. In version, the dev patch 1.11 using an A.O.M mod that works with the dev patch. And I was just going through everything, and the boys in the A.O.M team have added a ton more stuff since the last time I started the Union playthrough. So I think it's basically fully fleshed out now for the Union. You look here on the right of the screen, they have added a ton of departments and corps and armies, and it is just a lot that's been added in. So we're going to quickly go through all of that, but I'm going to speak to the overarching campaign objective for this playthrough. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm not going to be attacking along the Virginia, Tennessee, Arkansas lines, Oklahoma. I'm not going to be attacking anywhere in the north. I am just going to be using the troops I have available to hold the line up here. The main focus of this campaign, much like the last campaign, will be the Gulf. We already control the waterways. I'm not worried about the Confederates taking the waterways back over. One of the things I'm going to do is go through all these armies and take all of what are known as the regular regiments, all the regular U.S. Army troops out of all the volunteer corps, and put them into their own corps. And I'm going to be sending that down here to take New Orleans. So the whole point of this corps, number one, it's going to be strong enough to stand on its own, and it's going to have a ton of artillery in it, is to take down the fortifications around New Orleans, around Mobile, and operate along the Gulf Coast interior. That's the whole point of having that corps, is to take down all these fortifications that you see around New Orleans, Mobile, and Florida, and then move on into Texas. All of the viewer units, unless specifically requested to be in the Western Theater, and I might change that because I want to have all the viewer units in the same corps, is going to land behind them and start in New Orleans and work its way up the Mississippi River. Instead of doing a north to south attack on the Mississippi, I want to take the Mississippi from south to north. Will that draw the Confederacy to us? I don't know. But as it is the main thrust of this campaign, that is what the viewer units will be doing, is operating down here. Starting in New Orleans, working our way up to Baton Rouge, Vicksburg, and all the way up to Memphis until we get up to a connection in Cairo. And I want to split the Confederacy in half. I've never done it before, so I want to try and do it. So that is actually a campaign objective I've never completed, and I want to try and get it done. So, like I said, holding the line up here and attack from the south. Going over there, going over to military here. Not military, I want strategy. So, the morale of the national morale is 90s for both sides. National support's high 80s for us, almost 100 for the Confederacy. Morale armies is high 80s for us, 99 for the Confederacy. Men fielded, we have 122,314. The field today, 109,556. Navy tonnage, we're always going to outnumber the Confederacy in Navy tonnage. Military experience is at 12 and 13, which is about even with the way the officers are split up. Now, it's showing here battles won is 9 and 11, and casualties already, even though I haven't hit play, is at 716, 2,642. John, or one of the A.O.M team, if you guys are watching, is this representative of the skirmishes that were fought prior to the Battle of Manassas? Because there were a few skirmishes. Is that what this is representing? I'd love to hear an answer on that one. In my mind, that's what that represents, is all the small skirmishes that did happen before Manassas. So Manassas was the first big battle, but there was a ton of fights before that, all over the place. Finances. We're at AA with $57 million in the bank, bringing in a surplus, which is pretty good. And policies. So one of the things I did see is Revenue Act 1 is already done for us, which is quite helpful. It means we're bringing in some money. And you can no longer recruit regulars using this tab with the mod, as there are so many regular units added. And we'll go through that when we go through the army lists. So I did already select Militia Act 3. And I'm going to hold off on recruiting the viewer units until I have Militia Act 4 and I have the 3-year contracts. And I'll start recruiting the viewer units. I have 0 plans to take any diplomacy options, as we're going to be producing all of our weapons domestically. The only foreign weapons that will be used will be early game, if we have any in the stores already, which there should be, because there are militia units that did use Enfields, states that purchased Enfields. So there should be some foreign weapons in the stocks, but I have 0 plans to order any more. I'm going to try and do what I did last campaign and piss the Europeans off as much as possible to get them in on the side of the Confederacy. So there is that. So we already have Militia Act 3 selected, running through that. That'll be 32 days to complete. Then we'll run to Militia Act 4. And then after that, we will run into Military 2 so we can start getting Corps organization going. Projects. So there were a few projects available up here. I already clicked on them when I was going through everything. So what we did take is Administration Reform 1, which I did not mean to take, but I did take it. Weapons Production 1, and Railroad Construction 1. So Weapons Production 1 will help us with the construction of new weapons. Railroad Construction, because I do plan on constructing as many railroads as possible on this playthrough, as they will help with tax revenues. So having that knocked out will help us immensely to get the railroads constructed. Buildings, I'm only planning on building 1 for right now, and that is, per reviewer request, is actually a prison camp in Detroit. I do think there was one there historically, and I will possibly be building another one probably up here outside of Watertown to represent Helmira. If ever see at Andersonville, we had Helmira. If you don't know anything about it, look it up. It's in a really bad place in northern New York. Those boys froze to death, and their treatment wasn't much better than what they had down in Andersonville. Alright, now time to go through the army lists. So, you're going to see here, they've added a lot. This is the army. Well, we won't start there. Let's go back to number 1 here. So you have, turn off the garrisons. You're going to have to go through the garrisons too, because there's units in the garrisons. So the Army of Northeastern Virginia, under Butler. Why does it show me Butler? Oh, it's on Fort Monroe Garrison. There we go. Under McDowell, you can see it adds a lot more units than you had in the base game. A ton more. So you got like the U.S. Marine Corps Brigade, U.S. Infantry Brigade. Those are going to get pulled out of here and go to their own corps. We have all these regular Army batteries. The old brigade out of Vermont, the East and West Iron Brigades, 2nd United States Sharpshooter Regiment. I'm just wondering where the 1st U.S. Sharpshooter Regiment is. I have to find that. Are they marked as regulars? Yes, they are. All right. So a lot of these units, and I was going to pull all the regular army batteries out too, but just this army alone's got a ton of them. So I don't even know if I'm going to have to recruit any artillery at all during this campaign. We'll see. There's just a ton of it already. But you also have the Army of Shenandoah under Nathaniel Banks. The Army of the West under Nathaniel Lyon. Army of Occupation under George McClellan. And Department of West Virginia under Kelly. The Army of Kentucky under William Bolden Nelson. Department of the Ohio under Duval. Department of Washington under Mansfield. The Mountain Department under Reynolds. And Department of Southwest Missouri under Fremont. The Army of Mississippi under General Grant. Department of Maryland under John Dix. Department of the East under John Wool. And he'll be getting pulled out of command of that because I have plans for him. Because he's a very good commander. Department of Columbus under Don Carlos Buell. And Department of Pennsylvania under Edward Ord. And Department of Indianapolis under Lew Wallace. So there are a ton of units already added into the game. An absolute ton. And it's going to take a long time to go through them all. I'm not even showing them what's in the garrisons for the fortifications. It's like I know down in Fortress Monroe, I think like the 5th New York and whatnot are present. Okay, I remember the last time I played this mod, this was named the 5th New York. So some things have changed. Alright. Once again, this is a developer's patch and A.O.M mod that works with the developer's patch. So my hope is, I think the new patch is coming out soon. I didn't talk about that. I was just on the community page this morning, and they have announced the name for their upcoming DLC, which is going to focus on the Eastern Theater here, and allow you to play as a regimental commander and work your way up the ranks, which seems to be an interesting concept. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. I believe the gameplay style is going to be more like regimental command levels than anything. I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to see how they pull that off. So, but by using developer's patch with an A.O.M mod that works with the developer's patch, I'm hoping to avoid any game-breaking inconsistencies that we saw during our last Union playthrough. So it says that patch is coming out soon, but that could be this month, next month, or the month after. So we're just going to push on through. Once again, if we get a game, unless the save files are so corrupted it breaks the game completely, we will just push through hell or high water, whatever happens. So I'm going to sit steady for right now. We'll get the game time running. We should have the first Battle of Manassas coming up here. I don't want to fight it because I want to get the troops back and get everybody situated the way I want them to be, but may not be able to avoid that. So I'll be back. Alright, just an update here. It's not even the end of the first day, and the Army of Shenandoah and the Army of the Potomac have pulled out of Manassas Junction, so looks like we won't even have to have a fight there, so I'll have the time to get everything put together. So unless an action happens this episode, next thing we should be doing, hopefully if it stays quiet for a month or two, is get some of the viewer units up and running. So I'll be back. Alrighty, it's July 25th in game, and we just actually had our first naval action. The Confederate James River Flotilla went out against the Potomac Flotilla, and has disintegrated during the exchange. Calling it the Battle of the Atlantic, even though it was in the Chesapeake. So we took down We didn't capture any ships, but we took down 3 of the Confederate ships. Oh, there they are. I thought they disintegrated. But we lost 1 ship in the exchange, and they lost 3. And all the ships engaged were basically ships, tenders, and fourth-rate boats. So really not a big action. But first victory of the war goes to us. And I just spent, wow, about 2.5 hours just trying to reorganize everything. I'm not even done. There's just so much. And more artillery than I know what to do with. The one thing I really did accomplish was I did create the 1st and 2nd Corps of the U.S. Army, which is going to be operating down in the Gulf region. So, and I haven't even gone through the garrisons. I don't even think I will. So I made the 1st Corps U.S. Army, which is the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Infantry Divisions, 1st Cavalry Division, 1st Artillery Division, and the 1st U.S. Engineers Battalion. 1st Division's got the 1st, 2nd U.S. Regiments with the 1st U.S. Sharpshooters. 2nd Division's got the 3rd and 4th Regiment. There's a 4th Regiment in one of the garrisons. I just renamed Sykes' unit, which was called the Regulars Battalion from the Army of Potomac, the 4th Regiment, with the 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters. And the 3rd Infantry Division's got the U.S. Marine Corps Brigade, the 6th to 7th U.S. Regiments. And I broke up the 1st U.S. Artillery into supporting batteries for the divisions. I do have 6 divisions of regular Army infantry. So the 1st U.S. is the supporting batteries for all of them, with 2 extras left over here with the 1st Artillery Division, which is minus these 2 batteries is the entirety of the 2nd U.S. Artillery. And the Cavalry Division is made up of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd U.S. Regiments of Cavalry. 2nd Corps, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th Infantry Divisions, have the 8th, 11th, and 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th Infantry Regiments, with the 3rd, the few 3rd Artillery units that were in the field. The rest of them are basically in the garrisons, are there supporting artillery, and the 5th Artillery makes up their Artillery Division, with the 4th, 5th, and 6th U.S. Cavalry Regiments making up their Cavalry Division, and I'm using the 19th U.S. Regiment as their Engineer Battalion. Everything else is slowly getting reorged. I did a little reorg on the Army of Northern Virginia. And I guess we fought them, okay, the Atlantic Blockading Squadron caught them this time. 2 ships have been sunk and 3 captured. Okay. So we're taking out the Confederate Navy right off the start of this campaign. So I have reorged the Army Northeastern Virginia. They have 5 infantry divisions. I need to add more. There's a whole department that's almost nothing but artillery that I have to go through and transfer units out of to flesh out these units. But I am losing a lot of these guys. 7 days until this unit shrinks. Another 7 days for this one. So I'm about to lose all the troops that I have in the field. A good chunk of them are about to go away in the next few days. So I'm holding off on the reorg any further until about August. Ooh, that's new. Look at that. That's a new update. Oop, looks like we do have a combat here that I am not taking. Holy crap. Army of Potomac has come up after the Army of Occupation, and I have no reinforcements in range. It looks like they got somebody here flipping Grafton. Ooh, I should have pulled these guys back. Yeah, 8,200 infantry and 15 guns is not holding off 20,000 infantry, 1,600 cavalry, and 37 guns. So we're just going to give these guys a retreat order. Mountain Department is only 67. I'm going to have to combine these 2 units together. See if we can get you over here to the valley and head back down to the north. All these armies are all going to get combined into the Department of West Virginia, I do believe. or to have any viable chance of success in this region. Department of Ohio. Cavalry 1 Infantry. What's in the Army of Kentucky? There is just so much, you just don't know what's where. Ugh. Getting this reorged is going to be a nightmare. I can see that already. But the good news is having 2 corps for my operations down here will help me out immensely. Since we already control Fort Pickens, I'm going to be landing one of them here to construct a supply depot. And hopefully draw the Army of Pensacola into an engagement, because we'll heavily outnumber them. So, just a little bit of an update there. Things are slowly getting to move on. Slowly getting to move on. So, I'll be back. Alrighty, I thought I'd bring you guys back in here for a bit. This episode's going to be a bit boring. I have finally managed to get some reorganization done. Wow, it's been like another two and a half hours since I last spoke to you all. I got to take a break. But I have reorged all of the existing commands, disbanded some, and got it to a place where units are out of position, but I'm happier with the organization of it all. So I just went down the list and renamed all the combat commands 1st through 9th Corps. For right now, I just went down the list. There was actually no rhyme or reason to it. As I went down the list, I renamed it. So 1st Corps was the Army Northeastern Virginia. And I reorganized that into 5 infantry divisions and an artillery division, which I have to add more to. Each of my infantry divisions will have supporting artillery batteries, and each of the artillery divisions will have 5 batteries. The cavalry divisions will not have batteries until I get horse artillery. But this is just the groundwork. Everything is not complete yet. But you have 2nd Corps, which was the Army of Shenandoah, is at 3 infantry divisions with a full artillery division complement and a cavalry division. 3rd Corps, which was, I want to say the Army of West Virginia, is 3 infantry divisions, full artillery division complement, cavalry division. 4th Corps, which is 4 infantry divisions, an overstrength artillery division. Some of these are going to get transferred out. A lot of these are going to get disbanded too. There's so many batteries in recruitment, I just do not know what to do with them all. I really don't. And you'll see that. You have 5th Corps here, which is got nothing in it yet, but I do have to start recruiting troops. But once again, I'm going to wait until I have the 3-year contracts before I recruit anybody. There's enough troops standing up right now for me to hold the line, basically. Recruitment Command Ohio Valley. As you can see, there's a ton of artillery in here, a lot of cavalry. 6th Corps, which is 2 infantry divisions right now. A little overstrength on cavalry, so some of those are going to get transferred out. Recruitment Command West, even more artillery and cavalry. 7th Corps, which I still have to fill out. This was the Army of the Mississippi. 8th Corps, which is 3 infantry divisions going on to 4. Recruitment Command East. I mean, look at all this artillery and cavalry. Even breaking everything up to support an infantry division, I'm going to have just way too much artillery. Just way too much. So, we'll get to that eventually. And 9th Corps, which was Department of Pennsylvania, which I still have to reorganize yet. But as you can see, I mean, just looking at all these armies, there's just tons of artillery. Tons of it. The only artillery I'm not going to take away is the artillery that are in the 1st and 2nd Corps United States Army, as these units are going to be doing a lot of sieges, so they're going to need the artillery batteries. And those are those 2 corps will remain 3 infantry division corps, just because there's not going to be enough regular going through the garrisons. There's not enough regular infantry units to. I can make 1 more division, but I just rather leave them in the garrisons. So that's it for now. So like I said, once these corps are filled out, they should all be 4 infantry divisions each of 3 brigades with 1 battery of artillery each, an artillery division with 5 batteries, and a cavalry division of 3 brigades, plus an artillery battery once I have the artillery researched. I got to transfer this entire division out. So, that's it for now. I don't know if we're going to have a combat this episode or not. Actually, we're coming up on August, so I'll be back with the August monthly so we take a look at what the financials look like after the first 2 weeks of the game. Alrighty, it's August 16 game. I did decide to skip the August monthly since the game has only been running about a week, so there's really you're not going to see any changes until September. So the Confederate Army of the Potomac is now operating in Western Virginia, and they have made contact with the 4th Corps, which is underneath the command of Benjamin Kelly. So we're fielding 13,000 infantry, 387 cavalry, and 23 guns. The Confederates are fielding 19,828 infantry, 1,600 cavalry, 37 guns. Not exactly the best numbers for us, but we're going to take this fight anyway. So I'll be back after the load screen. Welcome to the Battle of Wheeling. So, didn't necessarily have to take this fight because we are outnumbered, but I've been spending so many hours trying to organize everything that I had to take a fight somewhere. And I could not end an episode without one. So, we are a little underhanded here, as you can see. I'm still waiting for 1 infantry division, 1 infantry brigade to transfer in with an artillery battery, and I'm waiting for 5 more batteries of artillery to transfer in, along with 2 cavalry regiments. So we are underhanded. We'd actually be stronger if we had all of our units, but all these brigades are, because my enlistments just came up at the start of August. My army shrank by about 30,000 men across the board. So some of these brigades, 700 men, 850, 900. So this is the weakest division right there, it looks like. 780, 900. This is the weakest division. So we are defending 2 points here. And they are called the Bridge Road and Davis's Corner. After I hit that, the names pop up. So the Confederates are entering from down here on Thunder Mountain Road, which means they can come left and assault here or go right and cross the bridges here. So not worried about either option really, because of where the defense points are. I can leave 1 division here with their battery of artillery to cover this crossing and defend along the main road with everybody else. The 2 other divisions with artillery up here along the road, and the smaller 2 brigade division down here covering this crossing. In case they decide want to come down here, go, oh, that's a bad idea, and come back this way. But they could also cross all the way on top of me also, so I'll probably put the engineer brigade back there. So I'm going to get my defenses set up, and I'll be back with dispositions. Oh, I had to point this out. Somebody heard me. Somebody heard me. Look at this. Yep. Not what I want. They built arrows. They put arrows on the parapets. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if that's the mod or the development team, but thank you. I've been praying for something like this. So I'm always building them backwards. Thank you, whoever did that, whether it's A.O.M or the developers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just had to point that out. Once again, I'll be back with dispositions. Alrighty, I do have my dispositions set up here. So, I have 3rd Division, which is the strongest one, along this fence line here with their guns pointed down the road. And I have 2nd Division to their left with their guns up on the road, and 2 brigades in the parapets and 1 behind in reserve. 1st Division, which is the 2 brigade division right now, is set up in the woods here. I'll have them build their own parapets. And 4th Division is covering the bridge back here, and these gentlemen will build their own parapets. I have left the engineers back here to watch over this ford, just in case we see the AI do some stuff that will be surprising. And I have the 1 cavalry regiment I do have right now over here on Bishop's Height out on the right flank, just to see if they don't come out this way for some reason. Doubt they will, but if they don't, they should be in a good enough position to come do a sweep around if we win this combat. But for the most part, the Corps is close enough together where they should be able to flex in either direction as necessary. And something else I wanted to point out. Once again, I don't know if this is the game designers or the A.O.M Mod team, but all the brigades have the 2 battle flags to start with. Standard stars and stripes, and the federally issued or state issued flags if they have them. So this one actually has the federal issue regimental flag. This battery looks like it has the actual 1st Ohio Independent Battery flag. I'm trying to get in close enough to look at. You can't see it on their screens, but I think that is the correct flag for that battery. And same with, where did I put them? The 4th Brigade here has its own. I think that might be a West Virginia flag. Yeah, it's West Virginia Brigade right there. So it looks like they've actually given all the brigades their proper flags as they're supposed to have them. So that is really awesome. Look at the cavalry. Do they have one? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the West Virginia flag then. That's awesome. That is awesome. I just had to point that out. So I'll be back once we have contact with the rebels. So I do have sighting on the Confederate dust trail. So some of them are coming down the road here, as you can see. And some of them are way out here, out in this open field and coming through these woods. Which has me really worried about my right flank possibly. It looks like they're heading towards my troops, but they could be veering to their side. So I do have to keep an eye on that. So maybe a 2-front attack. I don't know. So I'll be back as this develops. Alrighty, it's 13:15 in the game, and we do have sighting on a Confederate cavalry regiment. Looks like the 2nd Virginia. Here's another one over here, the Hanover Light Dragoons. And these guys have their 2 battle flags also. They got the Stars and Bars and the Army of Northern Virginia battle flag. That's awesome. So it looks like they're trying to head for the ford. Now, I don't have these guys pushed forward enough to keep them from crossing there, but if they do, I do have these brigades blocking the bridge. Actually, let me put you guys along the fence line. They decide to use that road, they can put some pop shots in there. These parapets look a lot better. Not the parapets, these breastworks look a lot better than they used to. So we have guys coming down the road. Still, yeah, that's marching infantry out here in the field, so that's got me a little worried. If they keep on that angle, they'll be over my right flank. But if it's just cavalry over this way, I'm not too worried about it. And if only these guys had rifled muskets, put them in range. Right. I'll be back once we have a combat start. Alrighty, it's 1349 in game, and I did have this cavalry regiment. Who is this? Gooklin Light Dragoons. Moving off towards my right flank, so I pushed forward the West Virginia Cavalry Regiment off the heights and down here to intercept this cavalry regiment. I do have them outnumbered, and I do have Maynard carbines, so we should be able to take care of them. And I've also started moving the Engineer Brigade up to my right flank. Actually, we'll put them right there. My batteries have been engaging. Looks like sight lines have been corrected a little bit. Oh, look at that picture. Okay, that's awesome. That's a mod head. That's awesome looking. That's somebody wanted to look heroic. Yeah, they've seen my cavalry, so they don't want to come any further. And the cavalry is down here on this flank. Oh, looks like they brought some infantry up now. Not look like it wants to push out at this fort. I was hoping the cavalry would come up on their own because I would have pushed out my two infantry brigades to slam them. So it doesn't look like they want to play that game. But the rest of their forces are coming up. They do have us outnumbered, so it's just a matter of time before they find a spot to overwhelm me and I have to shift reinforcements to it. So I don't want to pull this division just yet, because they could still come around on my flanks. Doesn't look like they're going to, but they could still do it. Here comes another cavalry regiment, 4th Virginia. Too bad not getting any cover from this stand of trees right here. Where's my corps commander? Oh, there he is. He was all the way back here with the engineers. I had to move him up. You got some troops marching right there. We just can't see yet. So you guys gonna ride into the carbines here? Looks like they're going to. And they're going to keep riding through, it looks like. Look at those troops that were marching out here. Still hear them. It looks like they're just marching out to this road to take this road. But they do have infantry heading. There we go, broke that cavalry brigade. Yeah, they got infantry moving in that direction, so I'm going to pull this cavalry out of here as they are unsupported. And we'll move them back to this fence line. How many casualties we caused in that brigade? About 80. And these guys coming right down the road. I don't know what the AI is doing. Figured they would have scouted me enough with all these cavalry units to get an idea of my dispositions. like this infantry brigade, Bonham's brigade's coming up, but they'll break under 1 or 2 volleys, judging by the looks of that brigade right now. Okay, these guys have stopped, alright. Just need this cavalry out of the way of that infantry. So you know what? Change of orders. I know engineers are going to be doing a lot of marching, but you guys go come over this crossing. I'll bring 4th Division back up out my flank. Time for a drink. I bought myself a bottle of Aberfeldy 16. A little pricey, but Aberfeldy's always good. And plastic seal. That smells glorious. There goes that brigade. This is not much of a battle. Is this infantry brigade coming in? Yes, it is. This ball didn't do too much, but these guys are... Oh, they are armored rifled muskets, alright. Brigade coming up next. Look at that. Look at that state flag. That's awesome looking. Who is that? D.R. Jones Brigade. I love how they got the proper flags on everybody now. It's just awesome. And I feel bad for these guys. Whatever Bonham's doing to them, it's just causing them to get wrecked. So I did hand out all my muskets. I didn't make it down to this corps. I got into halfway through 3rd Corps before it ran out. This works out. I can put the cavalry right on this brigade's flank. And one Bonham. Really unsure as to what they are doing right now. Oh, these guys have me outranged. Alright, advance. Cavalry get on their flank. Oh, that tastes good. Problem is, that is a much larger brigade. Hampton Legion, 3rd Battalion, Hampton Legion, 2nd and 3rd. You don't like having the cavalry on your flank, do you? And 1st and 2nd Advanced Brigade getting ready to break, too. Rally them in the fight. There they go. All right. Well, back on the fence. That's what I was trying to avoid. You guys must have Mississippis or something because they have me way outranged. I'm back there. These guys getting hit by the artillery in the flank, which is good. What are they doing? See that arrow there? They didn't finish building the breastworks before these guys came up. And that brigade broke. All right. Oh, there's no way their cavalry has me outranged. That brigade broke, very good. And I think these guys are coming from my cavalry. Get out of the way. Infantry double time. Change your facing. Problem is, it's the first battle, so units are not too hot. Even theirs. Base received that cavalry. It looks like we're taking some counter battery fire. Whoa, 22 losses. Really? I know they didn't take any infantry fire. Rosecrans is wounded. 3rd Division Commander. That's not good. First officer wounding of the war, and it's the first battle. Cavalry back out to go get these boys. That's a lot of artillery. And again, this is a force I should have fought at first Manassas, but instead they're in West Virginia. Crack. Hit them. There they go. All it would have taken is them putting out one more volley. Now, we have more than 2-to-1 on the casualties. And their morale is now lower than ours. Ours is at 34. Theirs is at 23. Louisiana Tigers. Lay you guys down. Just put you on counter battery. I don't need you firing at the infantry. Same with you. Start taking down their artillery. You're taking enough fire from them. I'd pull these guys off the line if I didn't think they'd break on the withdrawal order. I think it's time to push on their flank. All their troops are stacked up down here along with their batteries. Which means I should be able to easily push off whatever's out in the field over here. Just hear them all down here. Good. So off the battery. Our counter battery's effective. I get it. Hit them before they get the artillery. Good, perfect. Cavalry, get back in here. These guys are on the Mississippi's too. You can take on the Fort South Carolina, which is coming up. They're just pulling out of range of the artillery. Cavalry, get over here. They're stuck behind the fences. I think they might be. These guys have all got to be armed with Mississippis. They have me way too outranged. And it looks like they might be pulling off. Louisiana Tigers are broken. Yeah, I'm outranged. Way outranged. You stop pursuing. And this battery broke. Only 6 losses and it broke. Really? See if the Cavalry can't get to these guys in time to catch them. And get them. Now they gotta go around the damn fence. And they broke. Alright, see if you can't grab the Lynchburg artillery. Get here in time. Time's up before you even cross the fence line. Alright. It is what it is. I think we got enough of them. Yes, clock's still running. Are we gonna be able to get them? Nope. Ah. Let's open to catch them. Alright, not bad for a first battle with everybody getting rid of their first battle jitters. So we took down 750 of their 20,000 infantry, 400 of their 1,600 cavalry, 20 of their 35 guns, for a total of 1,200 or 22,000 man force. We lost 557 of our 13,000 infantry, 0 of our cavalry, 9 of our 23 guns to counter battery fire. Total loss of 585 men of our 13,700 man force. So I'll take those odds, 2-to-1 odds. I will take that. Let's take a look at the paperwork here. Alright, Artillery Division was still not present on the field. Cavalry Division only had 1 regiment. And not too bad when accounting themselves for first battle. They took down 67 infantry and 81 cavalry for a total of 148. Engineers didn't fight. First Division, which is the division up against the river there, the West Virginia Brigade, and generic 1st Brigade here. West Virginia Brigade did 178 infantry, 102 to cavalry, for a total of 280. And 1st Brigade did 143 to infantry. Division total of 423. 4th Division. Only the 12th Ohio fought, and they took down 31 cavalrymen. 2nd Division. The 7th Ohio Infantry did 65 to infantry, and that's it. The 12th Ohio Independent Battery did 12 to infantry, 34 to cavalry, 22 to artillery, for a total of 73. Not bad for 1 battery. 3rd Division. Generic brigade names except for the artillery. So 2nd Brigade did 120 to infantry. 3rd Brigade did 23 to infantry. 1st Brigade 64 to infantry, 116 to cavalry, for a total of 187. And the 1st Ohio Independent Battery did 87 infantry, 19 to cavalry, 2 to artillery for a total of 110. Division total 440, so that's the best division, though not by much. Alright, let's get out of here. All in all, the episode has not been very exciting, except for the end of this battle, because it was both armies' first fight. All these men were just ready to break as soon as combat started, which is pretty funny. And once again, whoever put the arrows on the parapets and the breastworks, I thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I no longer can build them backwards unless I'm just not paying attention. And the addition of the flags is a great toy. It's a great touch. It really adds to the flavor of what you're looking at. So, like I said, not much happened on that battlefield. Too bad my flank attack didn't get put on. Because I think I probably would have rolled up quite a bit of that army if I'd gotten my flank, the 4th Division into place to start that attack. Probably could have rolled up quite a few of those troops. A lot of those batteries. But, it is what it is. We move on, and hopefully we'll get them next time. So I have a feeling this unit in Wheeling is going to get hammered a lot. Alright, victory at Wheeling. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualties of 1,160 men, thereof 238 killed and 189 captured. Our casualties total 585 men, with 88 killed and 72 missing. Captured 750 rifles and 10 guns from the battlefield. We sent 190 soldiers out to Camp Chase. Alright, so I do have 2 more prison camps being built. Like I said, I have one up here in Detroit that's being constructed, and I am building one out here in the middle of New York between Watertown and Utica. So it really should be up this way more. No, I think this is about the location of Elmira. I think that's about right. Should be about right. Oh well. Actually, look, did they ever add West Point in? Of course not. They still have not added West Point. Somebody add West Point. Shouldn't have to build it. Should be built already. You know, it's a national academy and not a state academy, but still. The Confederacy can have VMI, we can have West Point. Alright. Let's get back here and roll this battle off. There we go. Alright, I guess it's time for a quick map overview on what's happening here. Then we'll close out the episode. So I have 1st and 2nd Corps of the United States Army up here in New York City, prepping for departure down to the Gulf, but it's going to be a while before they're ready. The 1st Corps still has 65 days until full readiness, and the 2nd Corps is even longer than that. Still have 9th Corps is up here at Fort Mifflin, forming up. They're at 5,300 men, going up to 10,000. That's an understrength corps right now. We have a 1st Corps still in Alexandria, supported by 6th Corps, 8th Corps, and 2nd Corps. 4th Corps up here in Wheeling, which just fought. We have a Recruitment Command Ohio Valley in Cincinnati. I'm probably going to have to pull them out of there if this Army of the Catawba decides to cross the river. 5th Corps is down in Kentucky. And you can see we got a lot of Confederates moving in this area, it looks like. Oh, but they're all under strength commands. 750 going to 11,000, 4,400 going up to 8,000, 1,400 going up to 2,200. I'm not worried about any of those right now. 7th Corps sitting in Cairo. Command West in St. Louis. 3rd Corps in Springfield. Did I disband Grant's Corps? Oh, 7th Corps, okay. I clicked on him and showed me a different commander. All right. So we're getting our defensive line set up and getting ready for our offensive. That probably won't kick off for at least 3 or 4 episodes before I have those troops down in the Gulf. As we know, sometimes with this campaign, like my Confederate campaign, we can go 8 episodes and advance the game maybe 2 or 3 days. So it's going to be a while before that gets kicked off. I don't know if this campaign will run to 50 episodes like the last one. I doubt it. Because I have a feeling my defense line is going to beat the crap out of the Confederates as they just bludgeon themselves against it. But we'll see. I really do want to complete my Mississippi River strategy. You don't have to worry about clearing out any ships like you do as a Confederacy. We just want to we got to fight our way up it. And that's what I want to do. All right. So once again, if you're a new viewer, return viewer, if you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so alert when the next video comes out. If you like a brigade in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Type in units, state it's from, weapons, uniforms, officer, and I'll oblige on all counts if possible. And comments, as always, do keep those coming. I love answering them. And I will see you all at the next episode. Happy New Year.